Hello friends! Walk. Tonight I am planning to walk to a place called Musashi Kosugi, which is located in Kawasaki. And I'm currently also in Kawasaki, near a place called Takatsu. And it's a lovely evening with very, very dramatic sky, as you can see maybe here. It's really this gorgeous video game or anime looking clouds on the sky. However, they're saying that there might be some sudden and very, very heavy rain coming, so let's see how that goes. That would be a exciting little extra for this live stream, wouldn't it? So the route that I'm planning to walk today is also one that I somewhat researched a little bit. So this should be a small river that I can basically follow all the way. So that will make things a little bit easier. And it's roughly a 5-kilometer walk, so should provide a little bit of decent exercise. Oh, this is gorgeous. There's like a bunch of kids training karate here. I don't really want to film them because I think that could be a bit problematic if someone gets mad at me, but they were super cute. See these clouds? They're like so perfect. And wow, already almost 100 people watching, and I see that many of my loyal fans are here. That always makes me very happy. So those of you who remember the night walk I did in Takatsu, I posted maybe two or so weeks ago, where there was like this cat suddenly coming out of a window. So that walk started here at Takatsu station, but then I walked in this direction. Today I will be walking pretty much this way all the time. I noticed that some of you commented on the fact that I didn't do a live stream yesterday, and yeah, I did not. I had to rest and take it easy a little bit. Can't walk every night, and also I needed to preserve. Like I think I have 3 gigs left on my data plan, and it expires at the end of the month. Then it will get renewed again. But actually I ordered a new pocket Wi-Fi that I should get tomorrow, which should be much faster than the one I tried before. And this one doesn't have unlimited data, but it comes with 100 gigs per month. So I rented it first for a few days just to see how it is, if it's actually a viable solution for me. But if it is, then you can expect me to do even more live streams in the coming month. Oh, thank you, as always, so supportive. 暑いですか？じゃあ今はあんまり問題ない。30度ぐらいかな。暖かいけど暑いではない。So someone's asking if it's hot, and it's not too bad. It's been relatively mild tonight actually, or today. So I think at the peak it was like 32 degrees, but now it's like 30 or maybe even 29. Let's check. Since you guys, I know that you all love talking about the weather. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's actually 32. Wow. Doesn't feel like 32 though. Feels like 38. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed. Maybe my body is just getting used to the heat, because it doesn't feel hot at all for me right now. I passed this place a couple of times. It always looks so nice, but I've never actually been inside. I need to try it out sometime. I think it's a restaurant or cafe. It's a bit humid, 67%, which is average for this time of the year, I guess. And in other news, so those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I've been mentioning that I had this big project coming up, and that I was just waiting for approval and like to get it all confirmed. So confirmation came yesterday, so that's really great news for me. It means I will have plenty of work and plenty of fun work as well. And it's also great news for you, because it means that I will be traveling quite a lot starting next month. You will get to see streams and videos from other parts of Japan starting very soon. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. I hope you will enjoy following my adventures. I can't really reveal too much about it right now, but as soon as I can, I will. And yeah, I think you will. I think you will like this. Let me check the stream. Oh, Jenny Skunk, excellent. Laura, mischiefs. Makes me happy for you. Thank you, Artful Soul. Sorry, I'm not gonna reply and like name drop all of you, but it's great to see that so many of you are so so happy to hear this. So yeah, that's really good, and I'm super excited. I will get to see some parts of Japan that I've never been to, but I've been wanting to go for ages. Literally, like maybe there's like one place that has been on my maybe top 3 places I want to go in Japan. So this is a small river, so I will just follow this for like an hour, and we should get to where we want to. So yeah, one of the places that I'll probably go to sometime in the coming months is one of my kind of top bucket list items. So I'm super excited about that. And in general, life is pretty kind to me right now, so that's good. And Stanley is very kind to me as well, with a 50 Norwegian kroner super chat. Thank you very much. I should probably get a beer to celebrate. All of you have been waiting for this movie. Yeah, that's great to hear. So here's another one of these random open little fields, and then you have this massive residential complex in the background. Will you be the show's MC? Not sure what you mean. This is a big photography project, so it's not like a TV or anything, but I will be shooting a bit of video as well, of course, for my YouTube channel, and potentially also for the client, but video is not the main thing here. Oh wow, Laura. Yeah. Is the hurricane actually going to hit California? I thought it was more like the I don't know the eastern part of the states that's getting hit by these typhoons. I really hope you will stay safe, please. Oh, thank you, S. And sorry, S. I noticed you sent me a bunch of messages on Patreon that I haven't had time to reply to yet, but I will. I will. Over Okinawa a few days ago, but I think it's sitting in Korea now. But it doesn't seem like that one is so severe though. Yeah, I know. MC means to talk as a presenter, but that's, I mean, it's a photo job, so it's not a TV assignment or anything. So I won't be emceeing anything else, anything other than my YouTube. So I don't know if you can see, but there's actually a round one over here. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. Well, it's really, I'm not gonna walk that way, but anyway, there is a round one, which is a arcade chain. There's one of them over here, and that's actually where I used to go when I was playing a lot of Dance Dance Revolution, because this area is still relatively close to where I live, so it's like the nearest arcade from my house. How did you get interested in photography? When I was a teenager, someone once handed me a camera, and it was like for the first time ever in my life I noticed that it was kind of a creative tool that I was not useless at using. So that's when my love story with photography started, I guess. Before that, like when I was like in middle school, I had lots of friends who were like really good at drawing, and I tried so much. I tried because I also wanted to draw. I also wanted to kind of make comics and all those things. But every time I tried, like the result was just so bad, and that made me really, really sad. And also I did play around a little bit with painting for a while, but I sucked at that as well. But with photography, finally I found a way that I could create something, and the result actually ended up being something that I felt good about. So yeah. So let's get a beer. Let's get a 7-Eleven beer. Already starting with some like autumn limited edition stuff. This looks nice. I'll go for that one. So no,
ーをお願いいたします。身分
7個
証
で
明書の提示をお願いする場合がございます。
あ、大丈夫です。I was still carrying this bottle from my last live stream, so let's get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Okay. So beer number 1 for today. Yeah, we'll see. I might do 2 because it's a pretty long walk we have ahead of us, and this is my slightly risky one-handed beer opening strategy. Okay, I didn't drop it into the river. Great. Don't turn Tokyo Explorer into an alcoholic. I think my alcoholic days are behind me. I used to drink a lot a couple of years ago, but not so much these days. A beer or 2 is fine, I think. You can't get over the fact that I can walk anywhere with a beer. Yeah, it's totally fine in Japan, and because it is totally fine, it's completely no drama around it, so it's not really a big deal. But yeah, I always get surprised whenever I go back to Sweden or like travel in Europe, and there's certain places where you're like, what? Wait, I'm not allowed to drink a beer? Okay, why not? 日本のビール美味しいですか？まあ悪くないけど、そんなに特別にではないと思います。Can you still buy those tiny beer cans? I think they sell them in some places, but not everywhere. But I do stumble across them every now and then. Yeah. Kanpai. This autumn edition. Autumn edition. Ebisu. Tiny cans. They're the ones like, airplane sized drinks. They sometimes sell them in shops here in Japan. Okay, sorry, let me check the stream again. 立川から見てます。立川から。あ、そっか、いいね。じゃあ、南武線ですね。立川。この辺も南武線。溝の口。南武線沿いの散歩。溝の口から武蔵小杉までに歩こうと思います。Quality decreased. That's a bummer. Let's hope it improves again soon. The wind always likes to make a cameo. Yeah. It is actually picking up a little bit, the wind. It's not like super windy or anything. Hopefully it will get better soon. Where are we going today? We are going to Musashi Kosugi, which is a recently redeveloped residential neighborhood in Kawasaki, next to Tokyo. And it's a pretty weird place, like the kind of the urban landscape there is quite different from actually anywhere else I've been in Japan. Like there's just so many high-rise condos crammed together in a really small area, and it actually reminds me more of how some places look in China, in Shanghai and Hong Kong, rather than Tokyo. So it looks like a quiet neighborhood. Yeah. Here it's very, very quiet and residential. Please turn your camera left to right. Well, I usually try to do that when there's anything of interest to kind of focus on, but right now there's not that much. Oh, maybe this sad little Japanese playground might be interesting. Musashi Kosugi is the high-rise things you can see from Nikotama. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. They really stand out, those buildings. Like whenever you're kind of at a slightly elevated point, you really see this like cluster of high-rises, which like there's not that many other high-rise areas in Kawasaki actually. So that also makes it stand out. This route it's the first time for me to walk this river. Why do you always follow river? Why not? It's nice to follow something, I think, and it just makes it easy to get from A to B. And there's usually always a few nice little spots and parks and stuff along the rivers here. So recently I really enjoyed walking along rivers. They will be building something here. Will you ever travel us to a Japanese village? Probably. I will be traveling a lot from September on, so there might be a few villages as well. I don't know exactly yet, but there will definitely be more than just the greater Tokyo area from now on. How's Sweden these days? I don't know, I haven't been there in over a year now, unfortunately, but seems okay. Seems like the pandemic is kind of slowing down quite a lot, and that people are getting back to their normal lives, so that's a good thing. Seeing all those bikes, a question comes to mind: are Japanese e-bikes legal to use in Sweden? I have no idea, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be, although I'm not sure if they would be very popular. Like Japanese e-bikes generally kind of suck, if you ask me. Like they're really poor design and very bulky. And then also it's like impossible for me to find a bike my size from any Japanese manufacturer. They're always too small. But in terms of like speed limitations, I think it should be okay. I think actually you're allowed to ride a little bit faster in Europe than you are here in Japan. The maximum like speed limit is I think just 25 kilometers per hour for e-bikes here in Japan, so it's very low. How tall are you? I am 187 centimeters. Now I'm filming. Oh yes, you asked me. I sorry I didn't get back to you on Instagram, but I noticed you asked me how, like, which angle I hold the camera. So I usually hold it a little bit lower than my eye level, which is like this. But now it's just in front of my eyes. It is a bit windy. Sorry. Did you travel to Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I've been to Hiroshima many times, but actually Nagasaki is not. I haven't been there yet. But probably from this assignment I will be able to visit Nagasaki. Show yourself. I only show myself to my Patreon supporters on my Patreon exclusive live streams, so they can see myself, or they can see me, I should say. But for the rest of you, you'll have to do with the glimpse of my legs and hands every now and then. Here we have these tiny shoebox-sized Japanese apartments. It's 6 apartments on each floor. My guess is that they are maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20 square meters each. Could be that. Oh no, wait. Maybe there's only 3 apartments on every floor. So these are not that tiny, but yeah. Sometimes they have like really tiny shoebox apartment. こんばんは、元気ですか? はい、元気です。Legs and black shoe shop. Yep. Have you ever thought about owning a moped? Not really. I prefer, the only kind of vehicle that I feel that I would like to own would be a good electric bike. I see. In Australia, I guess you have maybe more imports from Japan because of your location, and also we have so many bike manufacturers in Europe, so we don't really need to import that much from Japan. But maybe it's different in Australia, and I'm guessing that they also do manufacture larger size bikes for export, but for some reason it's just impossible to get. Like, I was looking for a electrical bike here, and I did find a few kind of potential candidates made by Yamaha and Panasonic, but yeah, they were all only, well, they said officially that they were for up to 185 centimeters, but I tried them and they felt like really tiny to me. So yeah.たこ焼き作りながら見てるよ。おー、たこ焼きいいね。美味しいね。Oh, creepy tunnel. rename my channel. Like, I'm not in Tokyo right now. There will be lots of videos from non-Tokyo as well, so maybe I should rename it. But I kind of like the name Tokyo Explorer though. It's good. Maybe I'll just do a Tokyo Explorer on tour series or something like that. Sorry, let me catch up with the chat again. あなたはこれを読むことができます。え？できますか？じゃないの？ I think someone just Google translated something into Japanese and asked me if I was able to read it. Are you using any gimbal? Yes, I'm using a DJI Osmo Mobile 2. 出身はどこですか？スウェーデンです。俺もたこ焼き食べたいな。Bro, we want to see used car showroom. Well, then watch some other channel. I'm not interested in cars, and I generally have I don't know, I just don't like when people call me bro. That sounds so, I don't know, immature. 日本のガールフレンドを見つける方法。じゃあそれは人によって違いますと思います。世田谷区中町の方面も面白いです。ああ、そうですか。じゃあ今度あの辺、中町ね。はいはいはい、世田谷線ですよね。あの辺いいですね。今度なんか世田谷線沿いの散歩もしたいと思います。スーパーチャットありがとうございます。Do your kids speak better Japanese than you? So I haven't really revealed this to other than my Patreon supporters, but actually I have a kid since exactly 3 weeks ago. But her Japanese is pretty limited right now, and so she doesn't speak very much at all. But yeah, I have a little baby at home, so these walks are basically my only kind of break from taking care of her. So my kind wife allows me to take a break for a few hours every day to do these live streams, so that's great. But other than that, I'm really busy right now. It's a poop fest every day, a poop and scream fest, but it's pretty awesome. I really enjoy taking care of my little daughter. She's so cool, and I'm looking forward to show these videos to her in the future. I might even take her on a walk or so sometime when she's a little bit bigger and I feel comfortable enough to bring her out. So, まずは日本語をもっと勉強しましょう。はい。Tokyo Explorer on Tour sounds like a great new name for a channel. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you very much. Oh, congratulations. Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for the congratulations. That's very, very kind of you. getting darker, and this path is getting quite dark, but that's just cozy, isn't it? So let's see, what are people saying? Is that why you're going back to Sweden? Yeah, kind of. We both agree that we don't really think Japan is or Tokyo is a particularly good place to raise a kid, so that's why we're hoping to move back to Scandinavia in the relatively near future. So your wife works and you're home dad, walks, mom, take care, send much energy to your wife. No, my wife is home as well. We're both home, at least now in the beginning. This first month, then my big project will start, and that means that I will be traveling a lot, so that's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but yeah, my wife is totally supporting me to take this assignment, because it's really good to turn down. So, but I'm a little bit, well, I mean, timing could be better, I guess. Like I wish I could be at home a bit more. But then again, I mean, I will probably be in Tokyo for at least, yeah, for about three weeks every month. So I will just be traveling for 1 week per month. So I think it's gonna be okay. Are you interested in red light zone in Shinjuku or Lafotas? I was 10 years ago. I don't think it's that interesting anymore. I prefer this kind of weird, unknown, quiet rivers that no one cares about. This is more interesting to me. Getting any sleep now that you have a newborn? Getting some sleep, but definitely not as much as I'm used to. But we basically, most nights my wife take care of her, because after all, no matter how much I want to, I'm unable to take care of the breastfeeding. So yeah, most of the times she takes care of her at night, but then some nights when my wife didn't get any sleep at all, then yeah, I take care of her, and we just take turns like that. Nyfödd, grattis förresten. Tack. Is it Friday there? No, it's Thursday here. Var i Sverige är du ifrån? Jag är född i Malmö men uppvuxen i Norrköping. Bodde några år i Stockholm innan jag flydde landet. Do you engage with the music scene over there at all? Not really anymore. I used to before. I used to frequent a few bars and do like DJing and stuff like that every once in a while, but these days I'm not really doing that at all. All right, great, guys. He's trying to clear his head with these walks. Let's stop grilling him about his family. It's okay. You can ask questions. Thanks for the videos. Hugely missing being in Japan. Thanks for watching. The yoga in the evening. Yeah, it's too hot to do it during the daytime. So if you want to jog, you have to do it either really early morning or after sunset. Unless you're like really good with heat, but basically we're still having a pretty severe heat wave over Japan right now, so most days yeah, it's just not really possible. Which is the best place in Japan to live for foreigner? I don't know. I've only lived in Tokyo, so I have no experience living anywhere else. But I think Tokyo is pretty good. It's a nice place. Decent little village. Is it true that Japanese hide their feelings? Are more indirect? Yes, it's very true. Japanese people generally don't talk much about feelings at all. Of course, there are plenty of exceptions to that rule, but in general, comparing with like most Westerners I know, Japanese people are not very like, yeah, it's not really, you're not supposed to show your true emotions in this culture here. Is there any coconut water shop? Not that I know. Yeah, same in Australia, I bet. I really like your live walking video. Thank you. Happy to hear that. It's good to have so many people watching these walks. I'm very happy to have a following like that for something as mundane as a evening walk. Do they feel offended if one shows feelings? Also love interest? Not offended, but maybe some would feel a little bit uncomfortable because they don't really know how to respond to people who show their emotions too much. But again, it really depends on the person. But I mean, people who have, like Japanese people who lived abroad and who have learned some other culture, they tend to, really enjoy being, like, showing their emotions and feelings. But if you're like taking your average Japanese person who has no experience living abroad and don't speak any English and only have, spent their entire life hanging out with other Japanese people, then they tend to be a little bit, they tend to get a bit awkward. Like, even such a kind of, to me, like, small thing as just giving someone a hug, like a friend that you haven't seen for a long time or something like that, then you can notice, like, sometimes, for example, when I've been back to Europe, and at least in Sweden, people tend to hug each other all the time, especially if it's like, you meet an old friend or something. And then when I come back to Japan and do that to like some of my Japanese friends, then it's very different how they respond to it. And you can really feel like a lot of Japanese people don't know how to hug people, which is a little bit cute and a little bit sad at the same time. The camera starts hunting at the evening. That's a bummer. Actually, so I got some really helpful advice from Virtual Japan the other day, and we managed to find a really good app that I think it will improve the quality of my live streams. I can actually stream in higher resolution and bitrate, so I can actually do 1080p 60 live streams. So once I get this router, probably tomorrow, I will do a few test streams and see if it works, and hopefully I will, if it does, then I will probably I might have to buy another phone which is better for the purpose of live streaming, and hopefully one that doesn't hunt this much as well. But either way, it looks kind of promising. So I think you will be getting higher quality streams pretty soon. Hello Dan, good that you woke up to see the stream. I keep touching the screen to scroll through the chat, and when I do that, it also changes the exposure all the time. I think the fact that they bottle up their feelings and the work culture is at least partly to blame for the high depression and suicide rate. Yes, I totally think so. Is there anything cultural or practically after all your time in Tokyo that you still find it hard to get used to? Yeah, many things. Many things. This whole kind of culture of obedience. Like a good example, for example, is today in the news, I think it was Japan Times, I read it in, they had a piece about how some Japanese schools don't allow the kids to carry these like sun parasols or like umbrellas that you use when it's sunny. And right now it's very sunny and very hot, right? It's like 36, 37, 38 degrees in some parts of Japan. But still the schools say that the kids are not allowed to have those sun umbrellas or parasols because they're considered to be dangerous. But at the same time, perfectly fine to have umbrellas for rain. And it's like, it's so hot that they, go out with these heat stroke warnings every day and, tell people that you need to really stay away from the sun and you need to be careful. But still, just because the schools have this seemingly completely illogical rule in place, then people don't bring the umbrellas. Like, there is a rule and most people just follow it blindly, even though they are kind of risking their life in the meantime. And there's just so many examples like that on like this really, really nonsensical rules everywhere in the society that people just blindly accept and don't question. So sometimes it feels like, I don't know, this society as a whole lacks the ability to use common sense. There always have to be rules dictating how to deal with very, very basic things, and those rules are often very, very stupid. So that's one example of something. Like, in Sweden and I think most Western countries, we have this culture of questioning things all the time, like especially these kind of seemingly stupid rules that makes no sense. But here it's like people don't question those things at all. So yeah, that's one cultural difference that I have a very hard time to accept and adjust to. There's probably hundreds other better examples, but that was the only one I could think about right now. Cinemas open now, yes. Have you seen the documentary movie Miso Soup? No, I haven't. Is it good? Virtual Japan has some nice videos. Absolutely. He puts a lot of energy and work into his videos. He is very, very... He deserves definitely a bigger following than what he currently has. You have a still camera right now. Yeah, I'm still haven't finished this beer and it's just too convoluted to try to pull something out of the backpack. It is pretty nice here now. Is learning Japanese worth it for a European? Definitely, if you want to move to Japan, then learning Japanese is definitely worth it. If you're gonna stay in Europe, I doubt that you will have that much use for it, and especially it will probably be very, very difficult to reach a decent level of language ability unless you kind of immerse yourself in the language. But if you're planning to move to Japan in the future, then definitely it's worth it. 日本は自動販売機もあってコンビニなどもあって良い国だと思います。まあ国が良いかどうかはそんなに簡単、まあ自動販売機があるかどうかだけでは全然決められないけど、まあ日本もいいポイントあるし、とっても悪いポイントもあるから。 だからまあ悪くない国けどなんか問題もいっぱいあると思います日本社会で。You inspired me to film my walks around Lisbon. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Awesome. I will check that out. I love Lisbon. I would love to see some walks from there. Almost face reveal. Mask reveal. Like flexibility. Yes, definitely. Laura over here, just silently enjoying the walk and talk. Sometimes I wish the Japanese society was a bit more critical. Yes, me too. And because everybody is so kind of ignorant about things, they unfortunately have the very, very useless government running the country right now, and that has been a big disaster for this country. I think I'm very far behind in the chat, so let me take a little break here, finish my beer and catch up with everything. I'll have a little sit down here on this bridge, because Japan is also the country of almost no public benches anywhere. Finding a place to sit is generally quite difficult here, and that's very annoying as well. Tokomaga. Lovely haircut. Oh, I think my hair is probably quite messy today. How are taxes rates in Japan compared to the insane taxes in Sweden? They're actually not that different. And I don't think taxes in Sweden are that insane, to be honest. People, like, it's so difficult to compare different countries. But I mean, if you're a regular employee in Sweden, it's like you pay slightly less than 30% tax, and that includes everything. It includes your pension, it includes your health care, it includes the entire education, it includes like all the public highways, like there's no road tolls anywhere except when you're entering Stockholm. So I think we get a lot of bang for the buck here in Japan. We actually, if you put everything together, it's not that different, the amount we pay, but what we get for that money is way less. Like here, everything costs money. You have to pay a pretty expensive health insurance on top of the tax, and then you have to do your pension payments. You have to pay a lot for education. So yeah, in all, it's not that different. Do you have any experience with the Japanese military? No. My impression is that Japanese people don't engage in politics. Yeah, most people are very clueless when it comes to politics. 10% VAT, yeah. So the VAT is pretty expensive in Sweden. That I can agree with. 25% is expensive. Josh coming very soon, yes. Masks are showing up in stores here. Oh, okay. It is pretty... shit, I think a mosquito just bit me. Yeah, people here just don't care. I mean, they've had such a shitty political situation for so long it's just a bunch of useless old men and their bodies. Like there's no real like opposition. There's like it's just a pretty dysfunctional political situation in Japan right now, I would say. So I guess people are they don't feel that their vote matters anyway. So most people don't vote, and people just don't, in general, don't talk about politics, which is also very problematic. And then there's also not really a free and independent media that kind of puts the government and those in power into question as well, which is also like really, really bad, and also part of the explanation for this situation. So yeah.焚き火の CM そうね。まあそれ以外あんまり何にもないこの辺。Abe cares too much about his hair. Does he? His hair is pretty ugly, isn't it? There were protests against nukes after Fukushima. Yeah, but very, 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 very small protests. And that was like basically the first time in decades that Japanese people, in some sort of kind of, managed to kind of gather and go out to the streets and protest. And there has been a few. It's like we see more protests on the street in Japan now, actually, before that. Nagasaki に行ったことありますか？まだ。でも多分もうすぐ行くかもしれません。Okay, let me keep on walking. It's already been an hour, so should try to reach the Musashi Kosugi in another 30 minutes, which I think should be doable. Also, I finished the beer, so. Yosh! Did I? I didn't. I don't think I did. Did I say Yosh? Yeah, well, I mean, US is pretty bad right now, and definitely not a role model. But I do think like people need to go out and voice their opinions. I think that's a sign of a healthy, functioning democracy, and that's what Japan is lacking. But maybe in the US it's kind of, I don't know. There the problems are very different, and not something that the rest of the world should strive after, I think. Oh yes, try. Now I have two hands again, so it will be easier for me to see what your people are saying. Live supermarket, yep. I didn't, Josh. Shit. That means I need to sit down and have another beer somewhere so I can do the yosh after finishing it. Wow, okay, I am actually pretty far away. This was much further than I expected. You can see the high-rise buildings now, finally. That's Musashi Kosugi, where I am heading. And according to Google, it's a 26-minute walk from here, so I guess that should be just fine then. My turn for dinner today. I think today actually we had like really late lunch, so I would probably just get something small for takeout for dinner tonight. I won't be cooking, and neither will she, because she's currently taking care of a little very demanding monster, so she has no energy to cook tonight. And that's also kind of the reason why I've been the one cooking most of the time recently, because yeah, she's really busy taking care of our little daughter. So yeah, I'll just be the one. I'm just the one handling the cooking. That's the least I can do for her. What supermarket are you usually using? Actually, OK is great. So we usually go there like maybe once a week to stock up on stuff. But we don't have like the nearest one is maybe 25 minutes walk from our house. So it's a little bit far. So usually we just get stuff at the station, Futakotamawa station. So there's some supermarkets there. They're quite expensive though, so it's not the best place to like do a lot of shopping, but just for the convenience of it, we often end up buying stuff there. Mr. T, talk about the Patreon page. What should I say? Well, for those of you who are new to this channel, or maybe watching this stream, like this live walk for the first time, you should know that I have a Patreon page that you can join if you want to support me. My supporters there get access to exclusive live streams. I will do one of those this weekend, where I actually show my face. So if you think that's worth $5, then you should be considering to sign up for my Patreon. Or you can pay a little bit more, and I will send you a postcard from some place somewhere in Japan every month, if you are feeling very generous and want to support me, or if you're just desperate to get some postcards from Japan delivered to your mailbox, then yeah, you should look into it as well. The link is in the video description, and don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell icon so that you will get notifications whenever I upload new videos. And what else? I don't have any merch yet. If I had, I would be promoting it right now. And This video is not sponsored by Squarespace. It's also not sponsored by some VPN company. But if a company like that would like to reach out to me and sponsor my channel, you can find the contact information on the about page of this channel. And what else? Any other YouTube cliches that I can throw in? Maybe not. Maybe that's all for now. Yeah, I'll just keep walking and stay quiet. When will it be okay for English nationals to Japan? I have no idea. Like how would I know more than what the media and the government is saying? Like, I have no idea. But I'm very skeptical. I think it will take quite a long time until people can travel to Japan normally again. スウェーデン人からすると日本のなんていう冬の暖かいですか。そうですね。まあ暖かいではないけど、まああんまり、まあ東京の辺はあんまり寒くではないですが、日本の家は確かに寒い。特にこういうなんか一軒家とか、なんかやっぱり家にいるときは日本はスウェーデンより寒い感じ、冬ですと。でも、そうね。でも気温はそんなに寒くない。東京とかもっと南の方はあまり寒くない。北海道はスウェーデンと同じぐらい寒さかな。マイナス20度とかマイナス30度も時々あるけど、そのぐらいです。You loved your US robotics Palm Pilot back in 1996. I think I used to own one of those too, or some Palm device before smartphones and everything. Nostalgic. They were so useless. There's also Patreon Postcard Club. Yes. Yoga is a bit far from your place. Yes. There's also one in Mizunokuchi, which I prefer because the OK store in Yoga is so crowded. How often are the other streams? I don't really have a schedule. What I promise is to have one exclusive Patreon stream per month at a minimum. Yeah, that's all I'm promising. But I think if I do one this weekend, it will actually be the second one for this month, or maybe even the third one. I don't remember. So yeah, I do them from time to time. Yes, I'm also available for photo sessions in Tokyo. That's true. I am. Yeah, those who are following me on Patreon know my real identity and all my other business ventures. So yeah. Your daughter's gonna be cool. She grows up with several languages and creative parents. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe she will just be messed up and weird like us. そんなに寒いの？まあそうね、場所によってでもまあ南スウェーデンは多分北海道と同じぐらいと思います。 マイナス20もう無理。まあ実は寒さはそんなに問題ないと思います。寒い時はちゃんと服を着ると全然問題ない。でもスウェーデンの冬の一番大変なことは暗さ。なんかあんまり太陽が出てこない。なんか仕事に行く時はまだ暗いです。あと仕事から帰る時も暗いです。それは寒さより大変です。でもスウェーデンの家は全部なんかその寒さ、なんていうか、なんか結構まあ壁が暖かいし、セントラルヒーティングも普通だし、だから家の中はあんまり寒くない。スウェーデンでは家の中は日本の方が寒い。東京もスウェーデンより寒い冬です。トイレは公園のトイレと同じ寒さ。そうそうそう。でもスウェーデンのトイレは暖かいよ。Weird and messed up people don't have any consent. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think weird is bad either. I was just joking, but yeah. I think weird is good. Normal is generally quite boring. I'd much rather be weird. And I will be proud of my daughter if she gets even weirder than me. This. Okay. Yep. Let's see, where are we now? Okay, we are, if I can get focus here. So should be okay. I think I'm like halfway of those 26 minutes. So I should be there in like 15 maybe. Have you read 1Q84? Yes, I have. Great book. I really enjoyed it. How long do you think you will actively use the Nikon Z7, Z6? They're great cameras. I mean, I'm a camera geek, so I will probably upgrade once they release something newer and better. But feature-wise, the only thing I miss is 4K 60 video recording. Other than that, and autofocus can always be improved. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with them. But the biggest problem is lack of 4K 60, and also that the lens selection is still pretty poor, even though we're like 2 years into the Z system now. Japanese literature you'd recommend? To be honest, I don't really know much about Japanese literature. I don't read as much as I should, and especially when it comes to Japanese authors, like I don't really think I know anyone other than Haruki Murakami, so yeah, I'm not really the right person to answer that question. If you're a camera geek, then follow Japan Camera Hunter. Yeah, I know him. He's a pretty cool guy. I've been following his blog for quite some time, and I always stumble across whenever I do like research about weird and obscure cameras. He often have write-ups about them. There will probably be a Z1. Yeah. If it has any functions that I need, I might get it. But usually the 1 series cameras tend to be more towards sports photographers, so they have high frame rate, but not the best image quality. So they're not really for me. I want high resolution. I don't care about fast burst modes or anything like that. I want high image quality, the highest image quality possible, and also reliable and as quick autofocus as possible. But burst modes are completely irrelevant to me. Do you prefer 24 FPS for the filmic look? I mean, 99% of the videos I shoot are walking videos, and for that I want as smooth frame rate as possible. So I never really shoot like cinematic stuff. So I don't really have much of a preference in terms of that, at least not right now. But as I mentioned before, I hope to kind of diversify the kind of videos I produce in the future. So maybe, and in that case I might try to see if I like 24 versus 30 FPS for that kind of shoots, because I don't really like 60 FPS for like regular videos, or like when you're shooting like people or interviews or something. Then I think 60 looks too smooth and a little bit artificial almost. But for walking videos I definitely would prefer 60 over 30. そうね、地震とか問題があると、まあエレベーターを使わないと結構大変ですね。Like actually, so we are getting closer to these buildings. Let's go out to the main road here. So there was the big flood last year, and this area, Musashi Kosugi, actually got affected a lot, and some buildings had to, they got like power issues. So some of these buildings were in blackout, I think for weeks, which basically rendered them pretty useless, because if you're living on the like 30th floor or even higher, then you're not really going to walk up. And then if you're up there and you don't have any electricity, it means that you don't have like hot water, because electricity is needed to turn on the heater. So, and also, yeah, I don't think even they could use their toilets actually. So that was pretty problematic for those living up there. And then there's also all the earthquakes in Japan, and like if you, for example, have to evacuate, living in a high-rise like that is probably not the best and easiest thing to do. So yeah, I'm personally like a big fan of living on a high floor and have a great view. Like that's something I think is really makes a big difference in terms of how much I enjoy my home. but I don't think I would like to live in a kind of high-rise tower like this. That would be a little bit too scary for me. I think as long as it's still low enough so that you could realistically use the stairs, then I'm okay. Yeah. Up there, maybe not. This is not 4K. Does it say 4K anywhere? This is 20p at best, probably even less than that. But my other videos that aren't live, they are 4K. We are approaching a more residential area. I think you can also notice how everything is suddenly getting much brighter. Now there's shops on the street level with all these bright, fluorescent, awful lights. Yeah, let's focus on how it should be. That's, I guess, a good thing. Number line, yes. You get a sore arm holding the cam gimbal. Not really. It's not so heavy. I mean, it's just a phone and a pretty compact and lightweight gimbal, so it's not so problematic. Yay! Okay, I think I'm here. I reached Musashi Kosugi. So I think like a building like this, I would still be okay. Like, what's this, 10-ish stairs? That's fine. You can still kind of, you know, get to and from your apartment even if the elevator for some reason has stopped, and it's low enough to kind of that you can actually evacuate in a reasonable time. But bigger, higher building than that, I'm not sure if I would be comfortable. Big rents. I don't think any of these are rentals, actually. They're probably only to buy. And they are quite expensive. This area is actually extremely well connected. Like, you can get to both central Tokyo and central Yokohama in like 20 minutes. So it's like really, and there's so many train lines that conjugate here, so it's really convenient place to live, I think, from that standpoint. But it's also a pretty weird place because everything is just so new and it feels a little bit I don't know, to me a neighborhood like this don't really have much character. So I'm not sure if I would want to live here, but at least it looks pretty cool, especially at night like this. And I think these are probably very new, because you see there's almost no lights switched on. So I guess people haven't really started moving in yet. Or who knows, maybe they're like really struggling to sell them. When you're gonna visit the Chofu area, I don't know. Maybe sometime. Don't really know that much about Chofu, but I'll look into it if there's anything interesting to see around there. It's a big change compared to the modest units along the canal, right? I see people watching these videos saying how they want to live in Korea or Japan. They don't realize how these pretty areas are super expensive. Yeah. It is. I mean, it's not everyone can afford to live in a building like that. Although I'd say, like, compared to like many other major cities, it's probably cheaper to buy a place here than in, I don't know, downtown, or like New York or Paris or London. Like, compared to those places, I think Tokyo is still kind of reasonably priced. But yeah, definitely you need a decent job in order to afford it. And yes, I know, color temperature also. That's like the downside of this phone and the camera. I'm generally quite happy with it, but when it gets dark, it really starts hunting. And also, oh shit, I thought it was green light. There we go. Yeah, and the color temperature also changes all the time. I wish it had like some exposure or color temperature lock. It's a mobile phone after all. The stream got cut off, but I should be back now. Many people are waiting for gyoza. This is like this super cheap gyoza restaurant. Some people really love it. For me, it's a little bit too cheap. It makes me wonder what they put into those gyoza. Weird question. Does the concept of 24-hour shops exist in Japan? Of course. It's not a weird question. There's a lot of them. Basically all the convenience stores are 24 hours. And there's lots of other facilities that are also 24 hours. So yeah, it definitely exists here. Let's see, let's look this way. So I think just a brief tour around the station area, then I will have to wrap this stream. Can't タッキーのマンションに住んでるかな。じゃあ僕はこの辺住んでないです。How beautiful and clean Japanese streets are. Clean, yes. Beautiful, so I would say. I think Japanese streets in general are a little bit boring. They're always so narrow and they don't really have any space to do things in order to make them nice. It's just about practicality. But yeah, I guess compared to many other countries, I mean, it's a very well-maintained country and infrastructure, especially in the big cities like Tokyo. I was surprised how expensive it is next to Mori Tower. Yeah, well, Roppongi is, of course, Roppongi is extremely expensive. I mean, it's smack middle of the city and it's like very close to many big companies' offices. So if you want to live around there, it's super expensive. But I don't know, even if I could afford it, I don't think I would want to live there. It's not a very nice area, if you ask me. Gyoza umasou. Is it awkward to run into a Westerner in Tokyo? Nah, happens so often. It's not like something that you really react to. Setagaya-kuに住んでるらしいです。そうかな、あの辺かな。うちは山の中。そうか、ニコタマに住んでるんですよね。そうです、そうです。Yanesen is cute. Yeah, it's a nice place. This area is much cheaper than Roppongi, for sure, for sure. So let's see, there is, I don't really know this area very well, but I've been here a couple of times before. And I remember that there's like one of these old drinking alleys, even here in this modern neighborhood. So I will, yes, here. So I will walk through this little street. Center Road, Kosugi. Go to a bar, we will pay for the beer. Should I do that? What time is it now? That would be nice, but after all, I need to deliver food for my dear family back home, so yeah, it's almost time for beer. Yeah, one more beer would be okay, I think. If I would like to find this standing bar somewhere, that would be perfect. Lots of people smoking around here. If there's like a bar somewhere, I could maybe grab a quick beer there. Otherwise, I think I will just get another konbini beer somewhere and chug it. この間は立川に来てくれてましたね。リクエスト働きてくれて、昔立川にはアメリカがあった。立川はアメリカがあった？どういうことですか？Just don't want to be late. Get your wife annoyed with you. Yeah. I can actually grab a beer here. I will ask. But it's not very nice.立川の一部はアメリカだった。どういうこと？土地がアメリカが管理したこと？Let's see. No, folks, I think I am already a little bit over time for this stream. So I think I will just head back to the station and wrap things up for now. So no second beer. But I will try to go to a bar and drink beer at my next live stream. Can we agree on that? Does that sound like a good solution that won't leave you too disappointed? Better go home, it's overtime. Yes, because there's no point going somewhere and have a beer and just feel rushed that I should finish it as soon as possible. That's not very endable. So yeah, home good time. Yeah, klar. Sounds good. Next time there will always be another bar. Yes. So feed your wife. Family's waiting. Yes. So thanks a lot as always. I hope you enjoyed this little evening walk. I know for sure that I did, and I should get that new Wi-Fi, because I think now with this stream I probably used my last couple of gigs, so I won't be able to stream more unless I purchase more data, but I should get that pocket Wi-Fi tomorrow, so hopefully that's another fresh 100 gigs waiting to be streamed. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and see you all again soon. Join my Patreon. Join my Patreon. Bye. I will start making ASMR videos for my Patreon followers only. Or maybe not. Bye.